one of my mentors was a kind of an oil man back in the 80s, and he was famously interviewed on TV, and they asked him, what do you think about the oil recession going on? And he said, we've decided not to participate in the oil recession, is what he said. And so I love that mentality. And I remember a couple years back, we were selling our academy courses, and they weren't selling very well this one month. And one of my team said, "Oh, it's just the economy's not good right now, and so people aren't buying." And it bothered me deep down inside. I said, "What are you talking about? We have one of the greatest academies in the world. We deliver so much value to people. They would love to have this. This will 10x their lives. Like this, no, this is not true. I refuse to believe that. We have something incredible here, and once people know that or they find out, then it's just and I always think that way, and I think that way now, and it makes a massive difference, doesn't it? And
Oh, it does. It's the difference between the kind of life, if you're going to live a life of lack and fear, or if you're going to live a life of abundance. And now I do remember what I was going to say before, is that we are meant, every one of us, to live an abundant life. That is a life of health, pure health, and live a life where we get to do whatever we want to do in our life. And how do we know that we are meant to live an abundant life and not to live a lackful life? Because nature is showing us. Nature is abundant in everything she does, is total abundance. And so that is the life we're meant to live. And abundance is who we are as a spiritual being. As a spiritual being, there is no lack whatsoever. Lack is just in the mind of man. Lack comes from the ego, and from the mind. There is in the spiritual realm, there is no such thing as lack. And that's how we know we are meant to live a full, overflowing, abundant life.
whew, amen to that. You said your ego gets in the way. Talk to me about the ego and how it messes up, or it tries to derail maybe the concepts you just talked about, that and nature and our spirit, and then the secret.
Right. So the ego, everybody will recognize the ego really well, because the ego's always wanting approval. It's always wanting attention. It's the one that gets upset. It's the one that gets hurt. It's the one that gets angry. It's the one that criticizes. It's the one that judges. And it's the one who is fearful and sees lack. Because the ego, you could say the second name for ego is lack. All of those things that I listed are lack. They're all lack. And so the ego is everything that we are not. Everything we are not. And the ego is important because it gives us a sense that we're a separate being on earth, that we're having this life in this body, and that's what it was designed to do. But the mistake that we have made is we are allowing it to be the master of us. And if it is the master of us, we will suffer. We
And
will
like
suffer a
you
lot.
said, it's there to make us an individual, which sometimes in the
Yeah,
short term keeps us alive. That maybe is the reason it's there in the short term, because it
yeah.
allows us to get that piece of food or jump out of the way of the train. But the problem is that it takes over the whole life, and in the long term, it runs our lives right into the ground.
It does. And it's the only thing that's negative. So when you're being negative, that's ego. Say, hi, ego, you've popped in again. Okay. Because who we are, who our true nature is, all loving, no judgment, all intelligence, all wisdom, all beauty, uh, all positivity, truth. We are who we are does not need approval, because we're already everything. So who would we need approval from? Who would we need approval from? And so the ego is something to just watch out for. And all of us are dealing with the same thing. And the thing about the ego, it loves the tumultuous energy, like anger, and it loves that kind of energy because that's sort of has it, thrive. And so overcoming our negative emotions is a really good start to damping down the ego. But I think just right out of the gate is to recognize, because people can be so critical of themselves. And I'm here to say, you are more magnificent than you can imagine, beyond what you could ever imagine. And the ego is the one that we feel bad about. We think that's us. That one that judges, that one that criticizes, that one that's lackful, that one that's fearful, that one that manipulates, others, the one that's mean, that's unkind, that's cruel and negative. That's the ego. It's not us. And so to have the ego in its right place, which is not running the whole show, I think is our destiny.
And it's all about lack.
It's all about lack.
Yeah.
Mr.
Really.
Ego, lack. All of those things are lack. Criticizing is coming from lack. It's colossal, really. It's a really incredible setup.
Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I am just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
This course has been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.